So it was the last Madden or Mutt stream of the week that EA did, and we still got some more information. We saw some other cards that I really like. I really like some of these cards, and I want you guys to keep in mind that just because the overall in a card is higher doesn't mean it's better. And I will explain why. If you're looking to build the best team in Madden, make sure you head over to moexp.com to avoid the packs and save some racks. Use code CC for 5% off. Link is in the description below. Fastest coins, cheapest coins. Use code CC. We'll see you guys on the sticks. 5% off. Be great. Hey, what is going on, Madden family? We are talking safeties, I guess. They said middle linebackers and secondary. I guess we consider safeties in there too. You'll see why I say that, because they didn't really cover much of that. For whatever reason. A guy like Jamal Adams, I didn't see covered at all. Don't know why, but we got some gold safeties, I guess. And some of these gold players are really good, which is crazy to say. But again, with safeties, we do different things. With linebackers, and do we really like linebackers? Not really, but make sure you hit the like and you are subscribed. We do have No Money Spent stuff going over on CC2. The link to that channel is down below. You guys can go follow there, and let's roll into today. So don't worry about that. One of the big things we saw to start here was about ability points at launch. And it's going to be 12. I believe last year we started at 10. So 12 on offense, 12 on defense, 2 on special teams. It's pretty generous. I'm all for it. You know, they can change it at any point in time. Assumedly, they will only go up with it. And then we'll also have abilities probably change points themselves throughout the year based on what's really overpowered and what's not. So 12 is actually really generous. It opens up a lot of different options for us. Just those 2 extra points could mean having 2 edge protectors on your offensive line that you wouldn't have normally had, right? So kind of cool. All in on that. Let's check out some of these cards. We got Montez Sweat that they revealed today, and we know Montez Sweat is fast, and he's a very balanced card otherwise. He's only 8 overall, so I'm not expecting a ton out of him, but that's a really good speed. He's got good size as well, and his finesse move, power move, is obviously low, right? It is low, but he might not be a bad guy to have as a backup on your team, right? Left end number 2 or something like that. Just in case. But obviously we would look forward to the next Montez Sweat card. They also showed us Leonard Williams, who they've got at right end here. Again, solid, slow, but he is over 300 pounds. That always holds its own weight. Somewhere kind of like a lesser version of that Richard Seymour we got at release last year. Again, totally fine. They showed us CJ Mosley. I don't know why. I assume that the idea here was like, here's a card you won't want. So we'll continue. And then they'd said, I can do one better, and I'll show you another card you don't want. So there's Hightower. Big Quinnen, again, a big fat defensive tackle in the middle. Over 300 pounds, good. Not a bad guy to have out there. You always want to have defensive tackles just in case, even if you're in goal line or you happen to really need to run a heavy set versus a big runner up the middle, someone who runs a lot of dive. Quinnen Williams is going to be pretty good. For what he is, especially for his cost. He will not be expensive, I do not imagine. Then we see Chase Young here as well, and I like it. 82 is a fine rating for Mr. Young, but the card doesn't excite me as much as I would have hoped it would. But what I feel like this means, and again, I'm putting it out there, that for superstar MVPs, I don't think we've seen all these master cards, right? We've seen a Saquon, we've seen a Michael Thomas, a Marlon Humphrey. I feel like I'm missing one. Russell Wilson was sort of shown in the program, but we didn't see his card. Assume he's an 89 or a 90. Why not give Chase Young a high card in the program too? Could happen, right? He's right at that overall. Zadarius Smith. This is actually one of those free cards you can get from loyalty as well. It's just a base elite card. But this is it, and this is why, if you guys watched my No Money Spent video, I was like, I'm taking Zadarius Smith, because I knew off the rip he was going to be good. Now, again, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but for an outside linebacker, you could put him at the edge. He does have decent power move. It's over 80. That's all we can ask for his power move is higher than his overall. Sign me up. I'll take it. Also another, I'm still calling the 83s and below kind of still budgety cards, right? Because budget gold cards is a very difficult thing to make work in the game. But Bosa here, good finesse move, good acceleration, very typical Bosa card if you want that. They also revealed Tristan Wirfs yesterday, one of the best right tackles in the game, perhaps, maybe. We also got to see Bobby Wagner, where again, for whatever reason, they do not think he is fast. I don't understand. They think he's strong though. That was getting good hit power. We got to see Honey Badger, like this card. I always really like it, but I will say, based on some of the stuff that we were reading from the blogs and the podcasts they've been doing talking about gameplay, it does sound like there's an emphasis on height this year, an actual emphasis on height, right? Because in the past there was, and then recently there wasn't, when we went to like a real canned animation system where you're just triggering an animation. Didn't really matter how tall you were going to get up there. So this could spell bad things for the Honey Badger. We'll see. But the card, the speed and the excel is fine. The player rec is fine. The man in the zone at safety, very good. I like. Now this was the card that impressed me the most that I think I saw today. Super balanced. I think he's actually slightly better than Jalen Ramsey. He is smaller. So how that plays in, I think Alexander is about 5'10". Jalen Ramsey, they usually have him at 6'1" in the game. So he's a decent amount smaller, but he's also going to be one speed faster and basically the exact same coverage stats. So I expect Alexander to come with a hefty price as well. This is not a budget card at all. Fred Warner, top rated linebacker. Shout out to Fred. Balanced card, great. If linebackers mattered. And then we see Ramsey here again, 85 speed on him, 86 on Alexander. Interesting. Their coverage stats, it was 88 and 85 for Alexander, 88 and 86 for Ramsey here. Again, Ramsey may be, I mean, if you can handle the one speed difference, Ramsey might be better. But I also expect Ramsey's price to be quite a bit more. You know, if Alexander comes in at 200k, Ramsey would be a 300k card. Again, just because the 88s are that much more rare. And we talk budget, and they showed us two amazing budget users here. Okay. Now, I'm not even that worried about their zone coverages here, because the way that Madden in zone normally works is that it goes in ranges, right? So as long as your zone is in that range, it's okay. So is Jeremy Chin going to play as good of a zone as Honey Badger? Well, we don't really know what the thresholds are. But if in years past, maybe the threshold is 75 to 89, zone sort of plays the same, then he's going to play very similar coverage wise, right? This is what we're talking about at the beginning of the video. I would take this card over a lot of other cards. Jeremy Chin is a big user, 6'3", 72 zone, right? If you have to leave him alone, 73 hit power. Decent. Same thing with Ole Simmons here, except his zone is much worse. But he's a little faster. 86. Oh, they made them the same. I thought he was 87. Okay, cool. But I think Simmons is going to be an inch taller. They'll have him at 6'4". But again, if those zones come into play and you accidentally don't user him, there's no way that 64 zone is going to be within whatever medium coverage-ish threshold. But again, we love Simmons. We all loved Simmons last year. We loved Jeremy Chin last year as well. Hopefully, whenever they get upgrades, they'll be sick. And then they showed this guy, who, if salary cap was a big thing, would have been the guy. But again, he is 87 speed. Troy Apke, silver card. Gets a little bit of love, a little juiced intentionally with the speed and stuff, just based on his overall. But he's a card you have to use. So again, just sort of like those different levels of budget users, or again, as I say user, like sometimes you click off, or you may use someone else for whatever reason. But I don't blame you for having some of these guys in a depth chart somewhere. I would stash those safeties, Chin and Simmons, I would probably stash them in like the sub linebacker spot in my depth chart, because I would want to have my backup safeties potentially have different abilities for halftime adjustments. And those gold cards aren't really going to get it. If they get any abilities, they're not going to be very good. And I don't think they will. So that's just where I would take those guys right now as my budget. I want them on my team potentially if I need to use them. So stash them in there in your sub linebacker spot. Should be fine. We did see team builder L'Jarius Sneed. Again, this card, similar to what JC Horn's card is. 89 speed, very good. We knew L'Jarius Sneed. He was kind of a bit of a fan favorite last year too. But again, his coverage stats are a little lower. I don't mind him as a budget card, but I don't think he's going to come with a budget price. Again, team builders are probably going to be around that 40 to 60,000 coin range anyway. They're not really cheap cards at 84 overall because they're a little juiced, right? They just are, and you can probably build those cards up, with some of your team fantasy packs. I know I saw a comment today on one of the No Money Spend videos. Someone asked if that's what they should do, and I thought it was an amazing question. Should they pick the team that just has a bunch of high golds and low elites for the team fantasy packs with the idea of building team builders? I said, that's a really interesting question. I don't know. I've never thought of it that way. But we also don't have the MUT database yet, so we don't know what team that would be, or if that's even really a thing. There's a team that's more heavily weighted that way, so we don't know. But Sneed is a really good card too. If you had this card, you're not going to dislike it. He's not going to be great in coverage, but he'll be okay, especially for launch. We also saw Jalen Smith, which is apparently from last week. Again, linebacker, good speed, but it's a linebacker. And they finally showed us these stats on the free JC Jackson, and I do really like this card at 87. Remember, he can be powered up one past this. You're talking 88 speed, 90 excel, corner for free. Great card. Great card. Agility a little low. We like high agility. Man coverage at 87, zone at 83 then. So you may be able to get his man up to 90 if we have a strategy card that allows a big man coverage boost. Who knows? But otherwise, for a free card, this is really good. He also gets 2 times Pats Kim if you're a Pats fan. So shout out to them for that. But that is going to be it. I like some of these cards. I'm really glad we got to see Simmons and Chin. Awesome cards, fan favorites. Really was interested in Jair Alexander stats. We got to see that. We get to see the free JC Jackson. Not much news ability wise on what these cards get and don't get. But regardless, good information. Good way to end the week. Only 6 more days until Madden 22. We'll catch you guys soon, and I'm out. Peace.